Today's guest is a Maltese Olympic swimmer turned ultra-endurance athlete and ocean champion. He represented Malta at the 2004 Athens Olympics in the 400-meter freestyle and held multiple national records in freestyle events. In September 2024, at age 38, he made global headlines by completing an astonishing 142-kilometer non-stop, unassisted swim around Malta and Gozo in 60 hours, 35 minutes, setting a new world record for the longest current neutral ocean swim by a male. He battled rough seas, hypothermia, sleep deprivation, and even hallucinations. His feat, obviously, captured the nation's attention and was ratified by the open water swimming authorities. You'd have thought that was enough, but in 2025, he once again pushed the boundaries of what we thought was possible, completing a full marathon of swimming every day for 7 days. He attributes these incredible feats to what he calls the ocean mindset, a way of preparing the body and the brain for peak performance. Today, we're going to discuss the highs and lows and the extreme lows that come from ultra events, the strategies that anyone can use to create a stronger version of themselves, and what it takes to push the boundaries of the human body. I've personally had the pleasure of supporting this incredible athlete over the last 3 years, and I genuinely can't wait to share some of the incredible insights that this man holds in his brain. Neil Agius, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for accepting to be here. I know you don't do this much. I'm truly honored that you're here, and I'm really looking forward to this.
Thanks, Matt. I'm actually looking forward. We've been talking about having this conversation, so I'm excited.
Fantastic. Thank you, Neil. Look, I never let anyone off lightly, and I will challenge you from the very first question. So most ultra athletes complete challenges like you've done once every 5 years, but you've been doing this back to back for 7 years. Why? Simply why?
I think it's important to understand that for me to be able to do a swim every year, there's a lot that goes into it. It's not a question of, am I chasing numbers? Am I chasing world records? Am I chasing my own personal goals or ego trying to get there? It really just feels like this is what I should be doing. And I have a long internal process before I actually commit to saying I'm going to do another swim. And I just love them as well. It's just so much fun to be within this space, within this community, everything that goes on, to be able to give myself the best opportunity once standing on that beach as well. It's something that I enjoy the process of.
So the real reason why is you genuinely love it. So you are driven by this love of doing it. It's not about you wanting to break the next world record. I mean, this is also something we saw with the final challenge, the last challenge you did. Like, it was not a ratified world record in any way. Kind of that doesn't seem to be the motivator for you.
No, because once I did break my first world record in 2021, I mean, it was a great feeling and a great achievement, but did it add more value to the actual swim for me? Not really, if I have to think about it. Obviously, from the outside perspective, it's a lot bigger, which is amazing because then we get to inspire more people. Everyone who follows gets to take what we are sharing during the lead up to the swim and on the swim and adapt it to their own journey. That is what my passion is and what my goal is of when I attempt to do one of these swims.
So it does have to be a bit of a balance in reality, because you do need people watching, because to some extent that funds it, but it also keeps it alive. It helps more people. But then again, it isn't the underlying motivation for it.
Exactly, yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so I'd love to take you back to 2023. So this was when you tried to complete the Mallorca to Ibiza swim. I know this is a tough one, but I do feel from our conversations in the past, it's something which has changed you as a person and changed your approach to swimming. So the swim was meant to be a 100-mile swim from Mallorca to Ibiza. What happened? We all know that you decided to stop. Why did that happen? What happened there?
Yes, so going into the swim, I was already a world record holder, and I attempted to swim from Mallorca to Ibiza, crossing and around Ibiza. So that's how the distance is so long, because we swam from Mallorca to Ibiza and around Ibiza. That was the plan. About 16 hours into the swim, I got stung by my first jellyfish. The sun had already set at this point, and it's pitch black at night. You are there on the boat. You understand that when we're swimming there's no lights on, there's no one with torches on. So once you get stung by a jellyfish at night, immediately your senses are like super heightened. And did another 3-4 strokes and got stung another 3 times. And again, it's normal for me to get stung by jellyfish hundreds of times. But again, started to try and look for these jellyfish. I can't even see my hand in front of me right now because it's pitch black. It's the middle of the night. And I started to feel like it's really not good that I got stung 5 times in 30 seconds. Did another few strokes and got stung another 9 times. I put my head up, told the team, put on the torches. Torches are on, I put my face in the water, and it's like I've been transported into a jellyfish aquarium. And again, at this moment, I didn't think I was going to be stopping. I thought this would be a short period, but 3 hours passed, and about 60, 70 jellyfish stings. My whole body was full of scars, lacerations, vibrating from all the venom inside of me, and it felt like it was no longer safe for me to keep swimming, because if I had to go into an epileptic fit with all that venom inside me, then someone from the team would have to jump into the jellyfish-infested water, drag me out onto a boat, dead weight. It would have been complete mess.
So you continued swimming for 3 hours through jellyfish?
Through jellyfish, through the middle of the night, yes.
That is insane. And is it typically abnormal to get stung by a jellyfish at night? Like, would it typically happen during the day if it were to happen, or does it happen sometimes?
So when it's a full moon, the jellyfish are attracted to the light, so they would come up, but it's unlikely to be in such a huge swarm. We're talking kilometers of jellyfish after jellyfish after jellyfish. And we were basically moving forward through the part where there were no jellyfish. As time went on, I really started to no longer be present anymore. So thinking about the future, if I don't get stung again by another jellyfish, how am I going to keep swimming? I'm wounded, I'm tired. Lack of focus.
And that's a complete killer for your
lack
mindset.
Of focus, lack of efficiency. It just starts to tumble down. And I obviously found this out after cycling through those stories hundreds and hundreds of times, because I knew it was no longer safe for me to swim, but it was what happened. Why did I stop? What caused it to stop? What went through my mind those last moments, or the build-up of the last 30 minutes?
Before you stopped?
Yeah, it was because the lack of focus. Then I was if I got stung 40 times in the first 2 hours, I got stung 30 in the last hour.
Wow. And by the end of it, how many times had you gotten stung?
It's impossible to tell. It was just... There are videos, tens.
Wow. I mean, I've seen photos of your body after that.
Yeah.
You were in bits, so that's quite insane. Obviously, very few people would consider this a failure. It sounds like an extrinsic factor which gave you no control, but I know you look at this as a failure, and I know it changed you as a person.
Yeah, but basically, it was very difficult for me to accept, right? Because I didn't stop because I wasn't capable of doing it. It was something that was out of my control, something that I never even came into my space. When you're going into these swims, the last thing you are thinking of is that you are going to fail, right? Anyone who thinks that I'm going to fail is not part of this team. We need to be a unit of everyone who believes in this mission, in this goal that we have.
So you're tens, if not hundreds of jellyfish bites in, you stop, and I know that moment really had a profound effect on you and changed the way you think about these swims. It changed your preparation, it changed almost your psyche. Could you walk me through that? Like, what changed in that moment?
Yeah, one of the biggest things was I went into it thinking I know everything. I've done 4 swims, if not 5 swims in a row, ended up the world record holder, and came from thinking I know everything when I actually know nothing. And how I'm not able to focus when the time really counts. It's easy to focus in the beginning when you're healthy, when you're fresh, but when things are going wrong, this is when you need to stand up and be counted within yourself. And so this is where the ocean mindset was born. This is when everything just went like, I know nothing.
Wow.
Was it now going to learn as much as I can.
Was it humbling for you? Like, was it a moment where you felt invincible and all of a sudden you're human again?
Well, yes, I would say so. I wouldn't say invincible, but it's just not in my field of anything that it wasn't going to happen. And then it happened. It didn't happen because of something out of my control. That's what I thought in the beginning. But then ultimately I could control many things.
You just spoke about, I think, quite an important topic in your life now, which is the ocean mindset. And is this something which has guided your future swims? Is it something which has been like a guiding light, almost a manual of how to complete these swims moving forward?
Definitely. I think it was, the ocean mindset conceptually is part of self-development. And every time that we work on ourselves and bring in self-development, whether you're eating better, you're sleeping more, you're recovering well, you're doing breath work, you're joining part of a community, you're leveling up your own like operating system. And like I always give this example, it's like a video game, no? The more they play, the more they get these armors and potions and weapons and stuff. And the more you work on self-development, the more you're getting these like
layers of armor that are going to protect you, and that almost make you invincible in reality.
And I understood as well from this is that there's no end to it.
There's no end to the self-development.
There's no end to self-development. You can't see what there is. So you think like, if I start eating healthier and I stop smoking and I stop drinking, then, then I'm good. But once you get there, you're like, but if I start doing breath work as well and I start going for runs and I start not using my phone so much, it's more. And then you do those things and then there's more and more and more.
It's incredible. This part of self-development is a never-ending one.
I think it's an important lesson to understand that there's always space to grow.
Yeah, but it's also quite incredible because it can be quite intimidating if people think they can never be good enough if they take that mindset. But I love that you mentioned these fundamentals that keep coming up as a theme in every single one of these conversations I have, that sleep, nutrition, drinking enough water, building a community, like these are the fundamentals of our health in reality.
Fundamentals, and sometimes the fundamentals are not the easiest though. Sometimes it needs to be something which you think, because I used to come from like, if I really sleep more, how much of a difference is it going to make? So you go for the bigger things. I'm going to stop smoking. I'm going to stop drinking alcohol. And those are very difficult to actually do. But the sleep is an easy one. But because it's the easy one, they leave it for the last. Yeah, and they leave it to the end.
Totally. And in reality, if you have slept enough, like a lot of people don't realize this, it's easier not to have cravings. It's easier to fight, to be a better human being in general. So I really do.
Brain fog as well, and productivity. And like my days are completely different of when I have a really good sleep and when I don't.
Okay, definitely. I'd love to go now from a bit of failure in very inverted commas to success.
Can I go just one more thing about the failure, about what really came up in this failure as well? That when I failed, immediately I felt like a lot of shame, like I should be ashamed of myself that I failed. And I was like kind of trying to understand, where is this coming from? And again, going through it so many times, it kind of led me to the place where we're brought up in an environment where when we fail at something, we should be ashamed of ourselves. And school exams, jobs, university, sport, and this idea or this way or this understanding of what we're teaching our kids, because this came from school, from me being a kid. This is how we were brought up. You failed your exam, you should be ashamed of yourself. You almost get in trouble at school, get in trouble at home, and that's the norm because you shouldn't fail. And that's stopping people from trying, because then all of a sudden you're not going to try and do something, not try and achieve your dreams because you're afraid of failing because of what someone else will think of you.
Wow. That is crazy.
That's crazy.
And do you feel that it is only because you failed in that swim that you were able to unlock the next levels?
Definitely. Yes, 100%. To understand this as well already unlocked so many things. I'd rather try and fail than never try at all.
Totally. Probably had you not had this push to reflect on yourself more, the ocean mindset would never have come to be. There's a big chance that what you completed in 2024, which we'll speak about now, wouldn't even have come to fruition, because that was truly mad.
Definitely. No, I believe it wouldn't have happened. The failure was a big part of this growth and this journey.
Incredible. So we've alluded to 2024. You broke a world record there by swimming for over 60 hours straight. You covered 142 kilometers. I think I'm one of the few people that can say what part of your team, I was so lucky to be there, that I don't think people understand how hairy those situations were. That last day, that last stretch, I was afraid to be out in a boat, and you are in the water swimming. Incredible and insane.
It's difficult for people to understand, because it's difficult for me to understand, and I did it. I was awake for 60 hours. When people in the street always come to me, how did you stay awake for 60 hours? Because I'm not touching the boat, I'm not resting, I'm not sleeping, I'm not holding out anything, treading water the whole time. Swimming is the hardest ultra sport out there, You could, like the Moab 240 that there was just now, they can sit down. They can stop and rest. In ultra swimming, you're treading water the whole entire time.
And I don't think enough people realize that you don't touch the boat. Like even when you are fed in a way that doesn't give you any support. You've created a system that keeps you completely unassisted, non-buoyant, no wetsuits, like crazy.
Yeah, so I don't even understand it sometimes. So it's very hard for people to understand, even to comprehend 142 kilometers. Like,
Mad. And the sleep element. So we've touched upon this a lot. People must ask you questions about it all the time. How hard is it to actually be awake for 60 hours? Hallucinations. You start to feel like you're going mad. You lose the sense of self.
yeah, it gets intense. It gets wild. Your motor skills start to fade away. But it's something that's not trainable as well, Matt. You can't practice and train sleep deprivation. You had told me this before I was going to start practicing this sleep deprivation. You told me it's not trainable, and I kind of read a little bit about it, and it's not. It's something that I'm able to do. How am I able to do it? By a lot of working with the mind, a big study of the mind. So when you start to lose these motor skills, when you start to hallucinate, that you are comfortable enough within yourself, comfortable enough that the team is there supporting you to allow you to go as deep and as you want, to push yourself through these crazy moments, but also they're the best moments as well. Like I train ultra to be in those moments, not for the first 40 hours, for the last 20. I'm in it for the last 20 when everything's going haywire.
And I think
That's the juice for me. That's when I like, so everyone's pain cave, everyone's like, oh, the last 10K of a full marathon or ultra marathon or ultra marathon, they're like afraid of it. I'm like, that's why I'm doing it, to see what happens when I'm in there, to see how capable I am in those moments. Not in the first 20K, but the first 40 hours. Let's get those out of the way. Let's get to the good stuff.
Good stuff. Can I ask you, are you a bit addicted to that feeling, to those last 20 hours? Like, do you feel the need to be put there every so often to see that you can still do it?
I don't think it's to see that I can do it, to see what happens and to see how my body and my mind reacts to it. And now, since that 2023 swim, all those opportunities, like I'll be swimming and I'll be like, okay, my shoulders are a bit more tired than they should be. Next time I cannot slow down so much on the strength and condition. I think I need to hold it for another week, straight away. Because if I don't think about it in the moment, how am I going to remember?
It's in that moment of reflection that you're really kind of realizing what works and what doesn't.
And what doesn't, seeing if my program worked, because I do all my swimming program. So the physical side of things, it's completely on my own. So I'm like, maybe I need more of that and a little bit more of this and a little bit less of that, and analyzing of what I've done, because it's a really big moment for me, right? I'm doing all the training program myself, and then I have to see if it actually works. There's nothing written. This is how you swim 142 kilometers. It's zero. So it's all self-taught and regulated year after year to perfect this system that I have.
Yeah, I think there's another thing people don't realize enough, that there is no coach for Neil Agius. You can't coach something which has never been done before. There's no way to do it. So, I mean, up to this last swim, which we'll talk about soon, you were talking about, am I going to carry this bit of extra resistance when I'm training? Am I going to train harder for shorter periods of time or less for longer? So it's incredible that you have to build this own system, your system yourself.
And believe in it as well. And to train on your own is no joke. In the beginning, it used to be really hard, because ultimately, if I remain asleep and don't go training and don't wake up at 2 a.m. to go jump in the sea in the middle of the night on my own, when everyone thinks it's absolutely nuts, no one's going to tell me, why didn't you go? Absolutely no one. Yeah. But what was amazing that was happening is you'd wake up 2 a.m., boom, you don't even know where you are. Absolutely, you're in your bed, but it's not like you're waking up to go to the airport it's very different to waking up to going to swim in the sea. And as soon as you wake up, every time, no matter how strong your mindset is, how motivated you are, how disciplined you are, and how consistent you are, immediately, Tighty, don't go, Neil. Wow. Why don't you not go, Neil?
That hits you as well.
Of course, those reps. Of course. And I'm sitting there just mulling in these thoughts of, no one's going to know if you don't go, Neil. Don't worry. You don't need to go. It's just one swim, just one session. Is this one session going to actually make a difference? Are you going to complete it because of this one session, this one swim? And so then it's all about like, okay, I'm not going to say I'm going to go, but I'll get out of bed. You know, that small steps in those moments makes a big difference. But I've driven to the beach 30 minutes to Melliha, sitting in the car, pissing down with rain, put on my wetsuit in the car, go, get out, stand up, walk in, turn around, walk out.
No, you've done that. No, you've never told me this. And all the months that I've worked with you, you never told me you walked back.
I walked back, went home, and I didn't swim.
No way.
And I felt so guilty
I
and
was
so
going to ask you.
disappointed in myself that anytime I would, because you think it's the best idea, right, to not do this session, to not come to the gym, to not turn up for your rise session, to not turn up for your jog, your whatever it is that you're doing. It's the best idea until you've taken the decision not to do it, and then you feel shit for the rest of the day. And I'm like, it's your fault, feel shit.
And
You didn't want to go.
It's like a mini
and
failure which is teaching you.
Yes, yes. And so then I was pushing myself to, you didn't go? Good. You're a leak. Feel shit. Maybe you won't manage to finish the swim. And it'll be your fault.
Wow. And is that something that you think guides you, helps you grow? Or is it something you wish you didn't feel?
No, I push it further. Like I make myself feel shitter. So you understand what you are not doing.
Wow.
I do it as well while I'm swimming as well. Heavy. Gets heavy. I'm a savage with myself.
So you just go like, your brain is telling you stop and you go, if you stop, you're a loser.
No, not that. It's it'll be like you'll be like hallucinating. You'll be exhausted. You'll be tired. I'm like, you chose to be here. No one told you to do it. It's your idea, your concept, your creation, your baby. You have the team. You chose everything. You wanted to do it. Suck it up now. She'll be there, and I'll be like.
So we just on the boat seeing Neil do like little hand signs. Exactly. This is going
that
in
means
his
I'm
mind.
okay.
I'm okay. I'm surviving.
I'm surviving because it's the team. I could like when I'm swimming, every breath I'm taking, I'm looking at the team, right? So there's the boat next to me with the rib, which is about 5-6 people on it. The feeder, the motivator, the rib driver, some photographers, and some crew, and then there are the sailing boats with the other remaining of the crew, and so they swap out, plus the doctors and navigators and all that on the boat. Everything that happens on that boat, I'll be watching. So I can understand when people are worried. I know when people are worried. I know when something happens on the other boats or something, anything. I could see the change in the faces. I'm watching at your face for 60 hours. I'm going to notice. So
Absolutely.
I need to make sure that when things are not going right and they need my help, I need to show them
I'm okay.
exactly.
And that's the energy you give.
Yeah.
I mean, alluding to this, I think one of the most vivid memories of my life is that swim, so that 60-hour swim, approaching the end. It was wilderness out there. So like, I'm sitting on a rib, which is, I'm not sure if it's going to fucking sink or not. It's crazy.
It's what I was laughing about.
Yeah, like it was a huge life experience. And I remember clearly, like hearing on the VHF, team members telling you, Neil, this is not safe. It's time to stop. And you kept fighting that. You kept fighting that. And you made the decision, like, I can do this. It's manageable. You manage the situation and you got there. How do you push through even that advice? Do you know the element so well that you know you can make it, your body can take you there?
Yeah, so just to give you a snippet of what will be happening at that moment. So 2-meter waves, rain, storms, swells, boats breaking.
People falling in the water.
And
like
everyone's
madness.
looking at me like, what are you doing? This is crazy. Well, I'll be swimming. It will be like the opera in my head playing la da 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 la la, and everyone's there on the boat, wet, and struggling, and like, how is this even? What are we even doing at this moment? But the team have to understand that I know what I'm capable of as well, and as long as I'm not hallucinating or not able to think or be able to take decisions, then I need to take the decisions because I know how much work and how much sacrifice and how much dedication to be ready for these moments that I had. Obviously, we're talking, no one in the world has ever done it. It's meant to look crazy. It's meant to look nuts. It's meant to look like we shouldn't be doing it, but that's why no one does it.
Totally.
And I remember having conversations with Gordon, who is the head of logistics, and he's like, listen, Neil, like, we can't keep going. It's too rough, it's too intense, like, we need to call it. And I kind of told him, like, listen, we can, and we can having this conversation again this time next year in the same place, in front of the same rock that we are over here. We're in the side of Dingley, I remember. And after that, he kind of like, okay, let's get, he understood how determined I was to make this happen, because this moment you take that decision, like we took the decision of stopping, not going to that training session, will be regret.
And is that what fuels you to keep going? You know, that there is going to be a huge regret if you don't get where you want to get. Is that a thought process passing through your mind?
I still regret not going to Golden Bay.
On that swim, on the 60
On
hour
that
swim.
same swim, yes, of course. So,
That still gnaws at you. That's
of course. But what if we made it? I was still able to swim. I wasn't not able to not swim. Of course, it will always. But it's something that I took the decision of, because I didn't feel the risk was worth the reward. Because when you're swimming ultra, it's not a question of keep swimming until you cannot swim anymore. If you don't get up on land, then doesn't count. The whole swim is nulled out, doesn't exist. It's like you never did it. And when you pass.
So when you pass, so kind of that south side of the island, the
Yes.
bays that you can come in are very limited.
Our Lapsi, once you pass our Lapsi, with the waves that there were, you're trying to get up on rock, because you have to finish on land, not on a boat. There was no way I could have, even inside that bay was crazy.
Our Lapsi was mad.
Outside of that little cove was crazy. Oh.
It's quite a tough decision to be making after 60 hours of not sleeping, a body that's destroyed by the waves, like insane.
The team, I also have to take into consideration the team, right? So if they are struggling and they don't feel they can do it, then I cannot do it without them as well. I'm only as strong as they are, and they are only as strong as I am. We do it together. Just at points, I need to be the leader and show them why we're there, and show them that we are capable, and we've sacrificed and prepared for these moments. The amount of meetings we've had with Gordon of safety, and the moments where I can't swim anymore. What are we going to do? What do we do? We've practiced, so don't be afraid. Let's try, let's go, let's dream, let's achieve, let's be better than anyone thought we are able to be.
I think
that's a big driver for me.
And it's quite an important moment to highlight, because this is part of the Ocean Mindset community. Like, that community around you in the swims, like, I'm lucky enough to have been part of it, is phenomenal. Like, you say it all the time, but it is so true that there's no chance you would be out there without those people around you.
100%. There's no chance. You know, it's like you're coming from the most individual sport in the most remote places in the sea, and you can't do it alone. And I don't want to do it alone. I don't think I want to. If you tell me to go and swim on your own, it's nowhere near as fun. I have you guys with me. I have my best friends with me, pushing through, doing crazy stuff. Like, it's
amazing.
It's super. So, like, we change. All of us change. From the guy who's swimming to the guy who's taking the photos to the guy who's the doctor who's feeding. We're all together, and there's not even any roles. It's the dynamic that we have created is making sure that everyone has their role, but everyone's ready to do everyone else's role. Because we're out at sea, people are feeling sick, the boats were moving side to side. As in, I was oblivious to all of this. I found out after. Because for me, being in the water and being in those waves, I'm in my element. This is my home. Doesn't faze me at all.
You go through all of this, you're literally Malta's sweetheart. I don't think you could walk down the road without someone knowing what your face looked like after your lips healed, because you looked ridiculous for a long period
Fast
of time.
track to Botox.
Just genuinely, if anyone wants Botox for a cheap way, swim around Malta
Ocean
for
mindset
60
Botox.
hours.
Just put your mouth in 60 hours into a seawater tube.
I mean, no, I can't imagine anyone else next year would turn up and they decide to set up a challenge which is just as extreme, more extreme, and literally set themselves up to fail, because this is the message you kept hearing from the media team, from Neil Agius. I am completing the Goats 07 to fail. Just to put people into perspective, in a week you were planning, and you did more physical activity than most people complete in a year, which is just crazy. Why would you do that? So you had already proved to everyone, you had proved to critics, you had proved to yourself, I'm sure. Why create the Goals 07?
Because it's not about everyone else, it's about me and it's about the community and it's about finding tools, techniques, and strategies that can help everyone through their everyday life. We need to hack our systems, we need to be able to hack our system, which is our body, to get through this life that is so fast paced, so intense, so wild, and so
All over the place, like something which we just can't control and we're lost.
because
with.
we've opened Pandora's box, right, with these smartphones and social media that we always have to be on. There's no time for off, and always on doesn't work.
So the Goals 07 was there for others, for the public to learn your methodology to prove that when you create something that makes you fail, you can actually manage.
Yes, but the Goats 07 was designed, the 15 hours a day for me to swim 15 hours a day, 42 kilometers a day, was replicating someone's day.
Okay, can
So,
you walk me through
yes,
that? What do you mean
so-
by that?
Your days are approximately 15 hours from the moment you wake up to the moment you sleep. And I'm going to do that specifically every day for 7 days to push my body to my limits, to understand what happens when we are burnt out, when we are down there, when we are low, when we have no energy, when we've overdone it. What can I learn from those moments to be able to, what tools can I start to generate and create in those low moments that are going to help me go from down there back to up there? So how do I get you from burnout to hero again?
And this is applicable to anyone. No, it can be a CEO who's just had a crazy day and needs to finalize a deal. It can be the mother who's been dealing with her 3 kids all day and needs to prepare dinner at night. So these are applicable for every
These are
human.
applicable for everyone. It's for the high-functioning CEO who has 200 employees who you can't say, listen, go on for a 2-week holiday and have a break. But having tools within your day, certain breathworks that you are doing, we're hacking our default system to take us to specific places, to calm the mind, to reboot our system, to remain high-functioning, focused, what I was not able to do in the Mallorca swim.
So it's from that failure that you started
From
to build
each
these
swim,
tools.
yes, exactly.
Okay, and did they serve you through the Goals 07? So
Of course, yes.
it's something you actually physically used yourself.
Physically use myself while I'm swimming, physically use myself while I'm swimming during the each swim, and in the build-up as well. I run a swimming school with a large number of employees and students every week. I'm planning and doing all the logistics of this swim. I'm training for this swim as well. I have my partner, I have my family, I have my friends. I'm working 18
Stupid
hours a
amount of
day.
time.
I mean, some swims are 10 hours long.
Some of your training swims before.
Yes, well, of course, 10 hours long. And then I need 2 hours to catch up with everything that's happening for the swim. Then I need to do some stuff for the swimming school. Then I need to do everyday things.
So your life doesn't end around Neela Juice, the brand, which is the person who can swim around Gozo 7 times. There's a lot more you do than that.
There's a lot more I do than that, yes.
Because I think a lot of people don't realize this. Perhaps people who put you on a pedestal might say, oh yeah, it's much easier if all you do is professional sport. But you have proved to Malta, to the world, that you can do a lot more than just professional sport.
No, there's a lot more to it than just the sport. There's the community that I'm holding. There's the events. There's the story we're building. There's the filming. That's just the swim still. We're still talking swim. And that's not even counting the hours of physical training, because there's the mental side of things and there's the physical side of things. And the physical takes hours and hours and hours and hours. You're training 30, 40 hours a week. It's just swimming in the water.
I mean, I definitely want to talk to you a bit more about the ocean mindset, but I think we'll get to that. But it's really beautiful that you have talked right now about the physical preparation. You literally have to prepare your body for the impossible. What does that look like before something like the Gozo 07? You mentioned, you alluded to 40 hours a week of training. What goes into that?
A lot of experimenting. This time, what I've been trying to do, especially for this ultra space, everyone in the space is like, okay, you need to train more, you need to train harder, you need to put in more hours. But this time I was like, I want to lessen the hours to make it more sustainable, being I've just done a swim 12 months ago and some 142 kilometers where I had training swims of 24 hours there. I'm like, okay, let's try and bring this back. And let's, instead of swimming slower for longer, let's build up the intensity. Let's swim with weight belts. Let's swim with bags full of water and bags full of weights and increase the resistance and see how that is going to play out.
And so you changed your training system completely. You stopped
Yes,
long
completely.
and slow and went for shorter, high intensity.
Yeah, and as well, when I'm training for a longest continuous swim, so swim till you can't swim anymore, there's the build up, and then there's the taper, the recovery, the 3 weeks of really low level swimming, and then you go and you swim. Whereas this was part of my training. It was one continuous build.
So there was no taper this time. There was
not meant to be a taper, but then I hurt.
Yes, I mean,
So-
that's something I think most people still don't know about.
They
That was
don't know.
incredible. So
I didn't want people to know about it because I didn't want it to take over
the story, the message
story, the swim, the message. It's like, it felt like I was creating an excuse
to fail.
that if I failed, it was like, but he was injured.
Okay, can you tell me a bit more about what happened? So what's the story? I mean, we lived through it together, but I'd love to hear it from the horse's mouth.
So how long was it? It was 10 days before, I think.
I think even less. I think like a week, 7 days, 8 days before.
8 days before I came to you and I told you I hurt my intercostal muscle. I wasn't sure if it was my lat or my intercostal muscle at that point, right? And it came from me carrying something that was heavy but manageable to carry. So I was lifting something for like a few minutes, 5-7 minutes, and that with the overload of the training that I was doing, because like we said, there's no taper, right? We're still ramping up into the last few weeks of the swim. And we basically kind of tried to treat it. Remember, maybe you want to take over here and just say what we did that first session.
Definitely. So, I mean, I tried not to show you, I don't know if you realize, but I was terrified at that moment because we had done the whole physical build-up. I had been helping you with the physical prep. I know how many people are invested in it, how much money goes into building something like this. So, yeah, so first step was kind of diagnosing the problem and figuring out what the hell is going on. How did you manage to hurt yourself now? Why could it not have been 3 months ago?
And then let me jump in. And I was trying to play it cooler than he was trying. So we're there, two cool kids in the physio room. So, we'll manage. No, it's okay. It's okay. It's a week to go. A week's a lifetime. Carry on.
And I mean, look, I always have the same mentality with you, and I know you are not superhuman and you have developed but anyone else, I would have said, call this off. But you seem to have a power, not to physically heal any different, because you're not physically different, but you can manage these things. At the end of the day, there are physical things which will stop us. This wasn't one of them. I think if this was a broken rib piercing your lung, I would have told you at that moment, Neil, forget it. This is a threat to you. But with you, you have a special power to manage the thought that is pain. You can manage how much that's going to influence you. And for some reason at that moment, I knew that although this is a relatively serious medical problem, it is not something which is going to injure your health long term. So let's play it in this direction. Let's try to make it as not painful as possible in the build-up. But that was my thought process going into it.
3 days before, I couldn't take off my T-shirt. I got stuck with my hands on top of my head. At that point, I started to panic. I'm like, how the hell am I going to swim for 7 days, non-stop, pretty much?
Yeah.
And I remember going to get another opinion, and this person didn't really know who I was. An English lady, lives in the cornerstone of Luqa, like in the unknown part of Malta almost. And she's like, listen, you forget it, like, you can't do it.
Delay it.
Like, cancel it. She's like, cancel it. I'm like, you can't cancel it. She's like, okay, move it by 3 weeks. I'm like, we can't. I'm going to swim. I'm going to do it. And she's like, you're mad. You're not going to manage to do 6 hours. And when I was standing on that beach about to start, I was the most afraid I was ever in my entire life before a swim. Because I hadn't swam for a whole week now. No swimming. I swam for 5 minutes the day before, and 5 minutes where every time I'm turning, because it was the way it was hurting me, that every time I would turn to breathe, it was hurting me. And there was no part of the stroke that I I could swim in a way that I'm not aggravating it every 1 to 2 seconds. And I started swimming, and I was feeling it, obviously, but they were telling me, do you want to take cataphaus? Do you want to take painkillers? Do you want to take painkillers? And I'm like, I can't take painkillers for now because I need to understand the range of movement of how much I'm hurting it every time I'm stretching forward, because it was not allowing me to stretch to my full capacity. So every time I was reaching on my arm forward, I had to lessen the roll and lessen the stretch. So I can understand to what extent I am damaging it before I take any painkillers, because
You're going to hide the message.
exactly, and I'm going to overstretch and I'm going to wake up the next day 100 times worse. So I was swimming 7 to 10 hours in pain. But then I took them and I'm like, okay, now I know the range. And I was doing that every day because it could change every day.
Yeah. And I also see that this is a big team with you. So you have an intuition with your body that I think very few swimmers or athletes, anyone really has. And we've seen this multiple times through your swim, that if you have a wrist injury, you have the potential, you know how to change your stroke in the slightest way to deload that area and use other body parts. I mean, we also had the problem because of that right rib problem, that your left shoulder ended up getting overloaded and fatigued faster than before. But it was a smart move because you changed your stroke and it got you through it.
Yes, it's important because even the preparation for these long swims, there are 3 strokes that I try and use: my primary, my secondary, and then an extra one just in case.
Just in case.
This was like a different stroke completely. But I remember, like, the distance that we're doing is so high. They all need to be trained: the primary, the secondary, and the tertiary stroke. I remember there was the year before, my lower back was hurting me, and I wasn't doing tumble turns in training anymore. And I was pushing, grabbing the wall, turning and pushing off. My shoulder started bothering me slightly from the amount of laps that I'm doing, the amount of
Just
times
reps.
doing a movement that I've never done before, to now doing it 600 times a day. It's crazy. It's incredible how the body works and how you need to be aware of certain things. And the intuition is huge, right? We underestimate intuition big time.
Definitely.
Like, there's a practice as well through our breath, the practice of intuition that I've been working on. I think you've tried to do it once at the event at St. Elmo.
Quite magical.
And we need to be in touch with our body, because we don't just wake up and you have 104 temperature and you're sick. You've missed all the warning signs, zero intuition. You are not going to just wake up and you're burnt out. There's many signs to your body that your body is giving you that you need to stop, have a break and reset to be able to continue moving forward. You're not living sustainably within your day. Intuition is going to tell you that. Interviewing someone, being interviewed, feeling the person in front of you, feeling that gut feeling, your intuition. We're so engulfed with everything that's happening, and so next, that we don't tune into it. And so I've created this practice to feel more our body and understand. Because when we're doing breath work, you have that moment of silence in your head, and you can start to unpack and understand certain things that are happening inside you. You're in tune with your body. What's happening when you're holding your breath? What's happening when you have more CO2? What's happening when you have the urge to breathe and you don't breathe?
So you actually use breathwork as an intuition practice, as a way to get more in tune with ourselves.
Yes. It's usable for anything. There's the practice of focus, the practice of intuition, to create silence, to create energy in your body.
Definitely. I mean, just to take us back to another point, I know breathwork is a point that we'll speak about in detail when we talk about the ocean mindset, because I know it's a big part of it. But one point when we're talking about your injury, I think one of the big things that people need to realize is the amount of strength training that you put into the build-up before the swim as well. And I really want to highlight now how important that is, because it makes you resilient. If you are strong enough, you can overcome injuries, you can find ways around them, you can be intuitive and use other muscle points and other muscle parts to swim. If you don't have that safety net of strength and strength training, then you're going to be a completely different human. You can still be intuitive, but you don't have the backup to keep you going.
You're more fragile as well.
Totally.
100% more fragile, and your body doesn't know how to respond, right? There's muscle memory in it. There's your body can feel and understand what it needs if you actually
Have trained it.
trained it.
Totally. We have to talk about nutrition as well at this point. One of our partners on this podcast, Dr. Juice, and John from Dr. Juice are the people that look after your nutrition in the swim. What goes on over there? How important is the nutritional element, your selection of food, and all of that?
Yeah, so John and I go way back to, he's been involved in all the swims.
Wow.
So since 2018, I think 2 days before swimming around Malta, I thought it would be good. Maybe he gives us a few juices and a few
Protein balls.
and stuff like that. And he's like, when's the swim? Like next month, 2 months? It's 2 days, John. He's like the day after tomorrow. I'm like, pretty much, yes.
This is the old Nila juice, by the
Old
way.
Nila
The old
juice,
Nila
yes, the old Nila juice. And John, you know, just a few juices and whatnot, he comes. He's like, I'm going to do it. This is amazing. He's like, I'm going to come and see if you can actually do it, but let's go. And he comes 100%, 110% with everything. And if it wasn't for the juices, I couldn't understand how my mouth was going to start deteriorating. So to chew was difficult, to bite the food was difficult. So the smoothies were like the winner of the swim, and I wouldn't have probably managed without those juices. The soothing, the coldness on my tongue, the high calorie drinks, the juices that he was giving me kind of gave me the energy that I needed to keep swimming. And since then we've been perfecting, fine tuning. Now we have this like
potion
exactly, of making sure that we're getting all the nutrients, checking all the boxes nutritionally that we need within a 3-hour period. We're even eating pasta or soups. Like it's gone way beyond just the juice.
Next level. And you would actually track the amount of calories you're burning and the amount of calories you're putting in.
Yeah. So the Gozo 7 swim, it was quite intense, because if I'm swimming for 15 hours a day daily, then the accumulated low calorie loss that's happening on day 5, 6, and 7 is huge, because when you swim for 15 hours, you don't lose weight only in those 15 hours. You have the next 10 hours where your body is still functioning. You know how, like back in the day, you say the best time to eat a chocolate is right after a workout, because you're burning the most calories. When you're swimming for 15 hours, you're
continuing to burn through your sleep.
And then by day 3, it's like I'm swimming, burning from yesterday and currently burning now. So we were eating 10 to 15,000 calories a day. I mean, he'd come at 4 in the morning with these 2 pieces of bread with about 70 eggs on them. I'm like, John, it's 4 in the morning. It's like a mountain of eggs. He's like, don't worry, I'm going to go get you your bagel. And then he starts getting me bagels as well. And it was amazing how much it helped.
No, definitely. And I see that your intuition plays into this as well, because there are moments where your mouth is broken down, you can't chew, and you're still in a place where you say, okay, I need warm food now, night's approaching, make sure I have warm food ready. So there's this mix of like the physical preparation and the mental preparation coming into one to get you through it.
Everything needs to come together, you know. I have this whole system, my whole body is an operating system, and I'm changing, fine-tuning, and seeing what I need to be able to keep myself swimming for as long as possible, because it's so tricky. You have to ideally go as slow as possible. You go too slow, you have to remain awake for longer. Your body's going to start to get colder. So, okay, let's go a little bit faster. But if you go too fast, you're going to not make it to the end, because you're not going to have enough energy.
Wow.
There's all these things that are going through my head. On day 5, 6 of the swim, I'm like getting tired, so I'm taking longer. The waves and the sea is a lot rougher than it actually was in the first few days. All of a sudden, I'm 16 hours into the swim and I'm nowhere near done yet. So every moment that I was spending longer than 15 hours in the water to complete the 42 kilometers every day was eating up into my sleep.
Which
and
then
I was
has
already
another
barely
negative
sleeping.
effect. Of course. I mean, you're alluding to this already, but I feel after the Ibiza to Mallorca swim, so after that change, you created the ocean mindset, and arguably
I started. It's always and still evolving, and I'm still learning
changing.
and always trying to come up with new ideas and new strategies of how can we be better.
But arguably, you started to realize that the preparation of the mind is as, if not more important than the preparation of the body. What were the biggest changes you implemented? I know there's a lot, but what were the biggest changes you implemented to prepare your mind to make yourself unbreakable?
Yeah, so I felt like before the 2023 swim that I trained hard. I felt like I trained hard. But after that swim, I'm like, you know what? I can train harder. But for me to do this, I'm going to have to rethink the whole thing. Forget going to a physio when you're injured. Call you up, say, listen, I'm going to swim in 2024. I'm going to do this swim. And I need to come to make sure that I don't get injured because I'm going to go deep and hard into the training. So coming to you once a week. So prevention rather than cure. So each week you would be fine tuning, fixing any niggles of me swimming stupid amount of kilometers every week. So we'd be doing back-to-back 8-hour sessions, back-to-back 10-hour sessions with 3-4 hour sessions in between. It used to be crazy at that time. And you allowed me to be able to do that. And then there was the breath work. And then there's also now, I've even like something maybe a bit out there is like a sandbag on top of my belly. And I'm breathing through the sandbag to build up the muscles and to understand where the air can go when you're breathing through into your belly. And so then when I'm swimming, I'm trying to hold more CO2 in my body and I can pocket it in certain places to make sure that my body is staying at the right angle when I'm swimming. So my hips aren't low because the higher I am in the water, the more air I have, the higher I am and the less friction. So we went into that detail of what can we do to improve yourself, to make yourself swim for longer, make yourself more efficient, not only physically, because we're adding the mileage of the physically, but also mentally and also by not actually having to train more as well. So we're just hitting all different angles.
And what does that mental training look like? Because this is something that really interests me. I feel a lot of people understand that you do enough reps in the gym, you swim long enough, your body is going to adapt. How do you train your mind? Like, how do you train your mind to be in those conditions and not stop? Like, is that just intuition only?
No, it's not intuition only. There's a lot of work that goes into it. And also, like, just to give you an example, I'm like, okay, how am I going to train my mind? What am I going to do? Like everyone asks me, what are you going to do? It's like, do things you don't want to do.
Mentally?
Yes. So I stopped drinking alcohol for 2 weeks during Christmas. And I'm like, don't drink alcohol, do something and do something you want to do, but you're choosing not to.
So putting yourself into a hard place, like seeking this discomfort.
Exactly. So no drinking alcohol in December. And going out, hanging out with your friends, and you're wanting something, you're like, no, control it. Super difficult. Since then, I haven't drank again.
Wow. So this is one of the routines you put in.
Yes, yes.
You just, on purpose, make yourself do stuff that's shit, basically.
Yes. I didn't eat meat for 2 years as well. So over Christmas, no meat. So you're there. I'm asking my mom, can I cut the turkey?
No, Neil.
Yes. Just to make it as hard as possible.
And you feel this contributes then to your successes in swims?
Of course, because you're learning how to control the mind. Then there's lots of meditations, lots of sitting in fear, lots of bringing up fear and understanding how would you handle certain situations, going through the swim hundreds of times, writing down what do you think can happen many different times, and then trying to find strategies and what can I do if this happens? What do I do if that happens? What do I do if this happens? So if it happens, you're one step ahead and you know what to do. I even studied sharks and how they attack, and if I have to come face to face with a shark, what am I going to do? I need to know.
And you did that to scare yourself?
No, that I did to know not to die. Ideally.
It's a pretty good motivator.
Ideally, because, I'm already going to, I have an idea of now I know what I need to do. Doesn't mean I'm going to be able to do it. It's a different story of knowing and actually doing. But if I didn't know,
then what do you do?
I really remember in the first time I swam across a body of water from Sicily to Malta, at a point I'm like, the first time swimming overnight as well. So it was a 28-hour swim. And we started at 5 p.m. And not 5 p.m., sorry.
5
Not a.m. We started late, around 10 a.m. So then the first night won't come too late.
Okay.
And I was like, during the day, I'm like, let's see if a shark comes. I'm just going to dodge it, poke it in the eye and keep swimming.
You're actually thinking of this?
Yes. So, because at that time I used to think about sharks a lot. Now it's not so much in my headspace. And I used to be like, if it comes, it's going to attack me. I'm going to dodge it, poke it in the eye, keep swimming. By the time it was nighttime, I'm like, if a shark comes, I'm going to be in his mouth before I can even see it.
You're so done. Like they're going to beat you. I'm really happy I asked you this question because I had no idea. Like this Turkey story is just phenomenal. It's just such a testament to who you are. Like to make yourself do stuff that sucks to prepare yourself for this.
Yes,
right?
yes.
It's just who you are as a person. Does it carry over into your day-to-day life? Like, do you feel you are more of a successful individual in your relationships, in your business, because of this training you've put yourself through?
100%. There's no doubt about it. It's changed me and the way I perceive things as well. Like I said earlier, these swims can't not change me, and I learn in the sea, and I take those lessons and try to implement what I learn in the sea, in the ocean, in nature, putting myself out of my comfort zone. So many ticks of so many boxes to be at the space of ultimate learning, to then try and do it in my everyday.
Neil, we've spoken about how you prepare your body. We've spoken about how you prepare your mind, but obviously it still has a degenerative effect on your body, every one of these ultra swims. How do you recover from something like that? So how do you come out of that water, like get in a car, have someone drive you home? Like what does the recovery process look like then? Like
This question always gets me thinking of, do I actually train physically too much, because the mind never lets you take you to that physical space? Because it physically, apart from my nose and my mouth, and I'll explain in a second why, physically my muscles, 2-3 days, I'm fine.
you're fine. You don't have shoulder pain, knee pain, all of this.
No. But I have also trained my mind enough to push myself to the point where the next day after the swim, to lift my hands over my shoulders like this, it's like you're doing that final rep of 100 kilos to failure. I'd be like,
You're gonna get there no matter what. Like,
but it's that's how much I can push myself. But then the body recovers fast, 2-3 days, and it's back to normal. My nose and my mouth, because of the amount of time that it is in sea water, takes a beating. Like this time was incredible, 105 hours in a week in the water. The ulcers in my mouth shot down to my nerves in my teeth, and it was like I was having toothaches. I stopped the doctor's like, is it possible I have a toothache? She's like, which tooth? I'm like, this one, this one, this one, this one. So I'm swimming with like excruciating pain in my mouth.
and this is during the
ulcers,
swim.
from the ulcers, man. From the ulcers. This is during the swim, and the 142 swim, I had so many ulcers on the inside of my mouth. I was feeling like I couldn't open my mouth fully anymore. It was like this was the maximum, and it was being stretched from the skin on the side. I'm like, if I'm not careful, I'm not going to be able to open my mouth anymore. And then I'm like, will I never open my mouth again? Because don't forget, you're not sleeping for 60 hours of swimming. You didn't wake up, open your eyes, and you're in the water. You woke up, had to warm up, had to stretch, had to get to the beaches. Good 2-3 hours before you start. So you've been awake for 63. Then you still have to go home. You have to finish the swim. Then there's the whole
Shebang
people
around it.
things over there. So it'd be like 75, 80 hours not sleeping. Oh,
Crazy. I mean, I
be
think
tripping balls.
I was gonna say you must be seeing some serious stuff there.
Serious stuff. It's fun.
When you get out of the water, or were you still hallucinating? So, like in those hours, like before you actually get to sleep, like were you still hallucinating like you would be in
Yes,
the water?
yes.
Okay, and I'm really curious. Like, did you manage to fall asleep immediately then? So, like when you get home,
You fall asleep immediately, but you wake up fast.
what do you mean?
Your body is full recovery mode. The heat that it is emitting is out of this world. You'll be like with the AC on 16 on you, like, and your mouth, your nose. So what was happening was I couldn't breathe through my nose because of the salt in your nose. It's like it cuts all your nose. So then blood bleeding from your nose bleeds and stuff. So your nose gets very blocked. And so you're breathing from your mouth. You wake up and with all the ulcers, they're all dry because you're breathing from your mouth.
Cracking,
Cracking, crying as well about it, feeling sorry for yourself. I was getting up, getting some warm water with honey, putting it on my lips. Then you're awake and It's a touch. It's intense on the mouth and the nose. It's very intense.
I mean, we're talking about this topic now of sleep, which I think we both value a huge amount. And I think the Gozo 7 taught us a lot about. So there's no chance, I think we can admit to this, that you could swim 7 days without any sleep.
No.
So that is an impossibility. The
No,
Gozo
no.
7 wouldn't
It's
have
not even
happened without
something
sleep.
it's not even something I would even. Now I think of crazy stuff and crazy swims. Not sleeping for 7 days.
Is an impossibility. So how powerful were you? Were sleeping maybe 4 hours in total, 3 hours most
Exactly.
night. So how powerful are those 3 or 4 hours of sleep? I'd love to just accentuate this into the importance of sleep in people's lives. So like just how important even 4 hours can be.
Yeah, it's what I noticed. It's amazing how the body. I think we spoke about this as well. That I never had 7 hours, 6 hours, or 8 hours of sleep. It was between 1 and 4 hours of sleep
Yep.
in bed. Really, not even of sleep in bed. That when you sleep, immediately it goes into a deep sleep.
Yeah.
So like where you're getting your maximum recovery.
It was quite interesting because like looking at your Whoop data, so you were tracking everything throughout the swim. Like when we were looking at your sleep in those 3-4 hours, you were basically getting 3 to 4 hours of complete mental and physical recovery. Like
Yeah.
you were getting as much physical recovery in 4 hours as most people would get in 8 hours of sleep. So it's incredible how your body just drops you straight into that deep sleep. You weren't even getting peaks where you'd normally would, where you're awake for some time, just straight into it.
Straight to the money shot. But I was also doing those the tests that we're doing after the swim as well. The QB test, where it was like a reaction test, and it also tests your mood and your movements. Where there's a white screen, a red square, a blue triangle, and a red triangle, and every time the same square, the same shape and same color came up, I had to press the space button. I was the first person to look at how bad the lack of sleep is. So I did this before and I was average. I wasn't the best ever. And I was just an average person, normal doing it. After these swims, I was falling asleep during the test.
Wow.
So I'm on this chair, like looking at the screen. It's 20 minutes, this test of
Meant to
this.
be boring.
Yes, it's meant to be boring because it's meant to test your mood tests, reaction tests, how quickly you can press it. And I remember just like falling asleep, waking up, still looking at the screen, still going like, I haven't pressed it in a while. Pressing it,
Just in case.
like I feel like I should have pressed it. And so it was interesting how the lack of motor skills when you're tired.
Incredible. I mean, I think it's a really good time to highlight this as well. And it's one of the reasons that I really tell people like Neil is not superhuman. So before the swim, before the Gozo 7, you were put through a massive battery of psychological and physical tests. And I think the factor, every week I was asking you about them because I find data very, very interesting. Every week I was asking you, so what are you special at? What are you special at? And by the end of it, we figured out that there isn't really anything especially physically different with you. You don't have any extra cardiac capacity, any extra muscle mass, anything like that.
You know what they told me?
What did they tell you?
I have ADHD and I'm dyslexic. I found out as I'm 39 years
Oh
old.
my God. Okay. I didn't know this either.
I didn't know this either. But I have a full report. I'll send it to you. I'm sure you'll enjoy reading it.
Learning more about Neil Agius. Okay, but I mean, can you agree with me that a lot of the tests show that in reality, everything you have built around yourself is from reps of training and consistency?
Yes, 100%. There was nothing. I have the same average body as everyone else. It's just trained and differently. And I think the mind has a big part of it because our mind can help us achieve something we're not capable of doing, but it can also make us fail at something we're capable of doing.
Wow.
And it's impressive. Like it's like no low is too low and no high is too high, you know, like you as a rugby player, you like, this was the best game ever. And you'll say this many, many times in your career because it possibly was, because no high, it can always go higher. You can always go higher, but you can also always go lower. And I've been to very low points and then got a lift and bungee jumped down into lower points into what am I doing? Like, this is absolutely stupid and hating every moment of it and sitting in it, right? Because I'm on my own. Just breathing one to the other, especially if it's at night. I can't even see the team on the boat. It's that dark. And those moments really built a really strong character of me understanding how me on my own, myself, I can achieve everything and anything that I want to. I just have to have discipline. I just have to hard work. I have to believe and study for it. It's trainable. Everything is trainable. The mind is trainable. The body is trainable.
Yeah.
You just have to be open to cultivate it, and it has to be your passion as well. It's my craft.
It's your reason why.
Yeah.
I mean, the reason I really wanted to highlight this is I really want to use this platform as a way to show people that they can build a better version of themselves in whatever context. And I think you are the personification of that you can build a better version of yourself. In the few years I've known you, you have changed as a human being. You must be a completely different person from that 18-year-old who went to the Athens Olympics. And, you have shown us that we can build better versions of ourselves with reps, with consistency, with hard work.
Yeah, and like I would love to listen to a fly on the wall of our first time we met, and the way we both used to speak then, and how we have conversations that we have today, how different they'll be. And it's not about, like, for me, I'm not doing this so you do like me. You don't need to swim for 60 hours. You don't need to cross from one country to another, get stung by 100 jellyfish and swim in the middle of the night. That's not what the whole point is. I'm not here to tell you to do that, but I'm here to inspire you to take on your own journey, your own why, no matter how big and no matter how small, and implement the ocean mindset into this daily routine, this why, and this reason and this goal that you have. And I promise you, it will help you achieve more. And it's one thing knowing, and it's another thing doing. It's very different.
What do you mean by that, Neil?
It's one thing knowing that things help you, and it's another thing actually doing them.
So actually putting in the work to do the reps, to
do if for example, I know that breathwork helps me in my day. And I can give you, when we talk about breathwork, a few examples of when I do it and why I do it. And I don't do it, knowing that it helps me, and I still don't do it.
You don't do it. You don't do the breath work.
No, anyone.
Okay, just a general
sometimes
example
I don't do it as well when I need to do it. I'm not perfect. I don't need to be perfect and have no aspiration to be perfect. I don't even know what perfect is. But if we know that something helps us and we don't try and do it, it's like when we're talking about this, when I asked you how many clients do you have that come to physio and you give them exercise, and how many actually do them? If you have to give an honest, blindfolded survey, how many would actually do it?
I mean, my hope is always 100%.
That's it, forget it.
I think what I had answered when you asked me this was
wishful thinking.
Yes, I think I had said 75%, and you were like, lucky if it's 10%.
I say 10. Because I find it, like, when you give me exercises, I find it hard as well. So I would imagine most people as well would be in my situation where it's hard.
Yeah. Well, I'll try not to think
we need
about
to do
this
it. We
too
need
much.
to have a survey box. Can we have a survey
Amongst
box
many other
outside?
things. But everyone's just going to lie and try to make me feel good. Like when I ask them, "Are you feeling better?" Yes.
No. They have to be. It has to be blind. They're not writing names.
Neil, I want to take you in a bit of a different direction. I feel there's a big association with ultra-distance sports, with people who are recovering from something. So we see, I know it's not always the case, but there are people who are previously addicted to something and they use exercise as the way to get out of it. It's almost like people are trying to recover from something or trying to fix something. You've alluded to the case that that's not the case with you. Is it? Like, do you feel that there's something you're trying to prove? Do you feel like it's something you're trying to fix or adding an extra part of you? Is there any of that motivation at all in this?
There is the motivation to understand how I can help and how I can inspire. And what I mean by help is by what can I learn by putting myself in that extreme situation. So you don't have to put yourself in that extreme situation. I'll tell you what I learned. And it took very long for me to be able to articulate these things, because in the beginning I'm like, I'm learning so much. I need to do another one. And they're like, what are you learning? I'm like, I can't tell you, because I couldn't articulate it. I didn't even know what it was myself.
You hadn't understood it yet.
Yes. And when people are going through difficult times in their life, they turn to ultra, because it is the space where you can switch off. Most likely if you're doing ultra, it's in nature, so you're getting supercharged by being in nature, by doing long and slow, by going more on the mental, where the physical gets numbed out. And so you can start to change the way that you perceive certain things. And that's why it's becoming so popular. That's why everyone is like longer, ultra, more.
Distance, more. I mean, people are running like a full marathon was the big thing up to 5, 10 years ago. Now people are running 100Ks, 150Ks, 6-day events, 10-day events. We have local athletes doing this as well. So
Yeah, but then it also comes to when is too much too much.
when are we causing physical harm to our bodies?
Yes.
I mean, everything you talk about, it seems to stem from consistency. I think nowadays you've inspired, and you do inspire tens of thousands of people just because you are such a consistent human being, putting in the reps over and over again. Realistically, how hard has that been for you? Has it been close to impossible to be so consistent, to be so strong in your mindset? Is it something that only developed with time?
This was developed with time, and the value of it developed with time as well, because I couldn't understand the value of discipline and consistency. In 2018, when I swam around Malta, I was out clubbing that evening
No.
with pseudo cream on my face.
Serious?
2019 round Gozo, I was also out clubbing. 2020 from Sicily to Malta, the 28-hour swim, I remember going home, sleeping for an hour. Lara, my partner, she was with me awake the whole time as well. She slept for like 5-6 hours. I slept for an hour, went out, went shopping, came home, started cooking, invited people over, woke up Lara, listen, I invited friends over, and yeah.
I think
And so then I started to understand the value of discipline later on, and now I'm a very disciplined person and very keep in my lane a lot. Like I sacrifice everything. Like it's not so what you see is an end result, but it's of behind closed doors of continuous development, continuous study, continuous practice, trying to find things out about myself that don't exist, that can help me, and then transfer them into everyday learnings for everyone.
It's so interesting though that one, you're happy to talk about this, and secondly, that you are not born this ideal human. I think going from flawed is the wrong word because balance is so important, but it's so interesting that it was a road of development, like that the people we look up to are not these human beings who are born perfect. I'm sure every athlete has the same story of having to go through reps to learn what the right way to be is.
And as well, remember that like this was never like, okay, I'm going to be a world record holder, I'm going to be an ultra distance athlete. I just swam around Malta because I thought it was going to be cool. Point blank, nothing else. Not to inspire anyone, not to tell anyone about anything, just because I had multiple national records. I went to the Olympics, World Championships multiple times. Before I hung up my goggles and stopped swimming, I said, let me swim around Malta.
So it was kind of just something to end it, a cool way to do
That was the bow, like that was the end, not the bow of that chapter, and opened up a whole new, not book, encyclopedia. Like I thought like, this is what I do. Like I'm a swimming teacher. I'm very good at teaching kids how to swim. I go down on their level completely, and we have a really fun time teaching. Like I also still teach one class, which is the babies. So 6-month-year-olds, I still teach. I love being able to teach someone without actually having verbal communication. It's super fun. And then I have the older ones, the club swimmers that I coach as well. I'm a bit of a hard ass on them. They know.
They know. But they enjoy it and you do too. So, I mean,
Yeah.
it's quite a good time to ask you this question. You have so much going on in your life. So the Nila Juice brand and the swims, your work, you still teach classes, you have a crazy, huge team to work around and to work with. Is there such a thing as work-life balance? So is there the possibility to enjoy both aspects of your life, or is this a fallacy if you want to be the best in the world at something?
I think there were definitely moments where I felt like in order for me to achieve what I want to achieve, I need to be selfish. And to be selfish is do what I need to do for me to achieve what I need to achieve. I went through quite a period of that being the
Main focus.
the main mantra almost of my life. No one is going to come and tell me to do something that is going to affect the way I'm going to swim tomorrow. And I took it very seriously, and it affected a lot of my relationships because they couldn't understand why I was no longer hanging out with them or no longer meeting them or spending time with them. But if they would meet, so if I'm preparing for a swim that's in September, my training period is forever, always. But in summer, everyone's like, let's go here, let's go there. I'm like, I can't. I can't. No, if you were meeting for dinner, it's 6 p.m. because at 8:39, I need to be in bed. Even for my partner, for Lara, it's like we agreed together that I'm going to do another swim because it's a very big sacrifice for her. She loses me as a human for a while because I cannot go to the wedding with you. Well, how am I going to swim for 10 hours the next day? I cannot go to the beach. That's going to drain my energy. I need to rest because tomorrow I need to do another big session. There cannot be, or you're either one or the other. When it comes to ultra, when there's the goal is so big, you can't. But then there's a time and a time. So now we're rebalancing the scale. So now there's no training and there's full family and there's full Lara and there's full friends and there's everything that brings a lot of joy as well to me as well. You know, in the beginning it was very hard to feel everyone's out and I'm at home trying to prepare myself for this stupid thing that I decided to do.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
But it also sounds like you create balance in your own way. So in the short term, in the acute term, in the prep term, there isn't balance. That is 100% go hard. But then it sounds like you balance that out by having longer periods of recovery, because recovery isn't physical only. You're recovering your relationships, you're recovering your body, you're recovering your mind.
I think one of the biggest problems that we have or that I see in society is that we are able to set goals and set targets and set milestones that we want to reach, but we are no longer able to enjoy the victory within that mindset, that milestone.
Incredible.
So even in work, in an office space, even you want to open another gym. You open it, and did you rest, recover, and celebrate that big milestone, or did you go straight down deep into the next one?
Totally. Yeah. I mean, this is a neurological problem, unfortunately, that the receptor we enjoy is not the receptor. But it's not given to us when we arrive. It's given to us on the journey. So,
but every time we don't rest, recover, reset, and celebrate, our ceiling of potential goes down.
Yeah.
If we're not able to celebrate the wins and celebrate the moments where we really achieved something, no matter how small it is, then your level of potential goes down.
Does that happen to you? Do you feel dull and empty after a big swim? Like, is that something you can fall into yourself?
I go full recovery mode, though I don't swim for a few months. Like maybe I go and swim for half an hour. It's not really a swim. It's my body needs to fully recover and my mind not feel like I'm fully recovered. Like I told you, I recover in 3-4 days. Yes, I did fully recover in 3-4 days. But if you really have to go down to the nitty gritty and test and see the muscles, there's still the broken muscle fibers that take months to recover. The doctors tell me that you've just done a major operation. You shouldn't go to work for 6 weeks.
Oh, wow. You go to work the next
2 days after.
But you do run your own business. I mean, it's a reality. Yeah, look, we've spoken a lot about, and I'm sure people are curious about this. I've experienced it firsthand, and that's the ocean mindset. So I'd love to go into a little bit more detail about it and teach people this lesson that you learned from the Goals 07. So what is the ocean mindset? I know it's a term, I know it's something that the media team talk about, but what is the ocean mindset for Neil Agius?
It's based on 3 pillars, which is the breath, which is movement, and which is community. And bringing all these 3 elements within your life. The breath is the space for you to learn how to have the tools to downregulate, to focus, to reset, to rest, to do anything you want to do, because it is like to keep you in that sweet spot of where you want to be within your day. Things are getting too intense, you want to bring them down into balance. Things are getting too low, you want to bring up the energy and bring it into this sweet spot where you are functioning and focused at a high efficiency for extended periods.
Okay.
The movement is us being able to move our body and understand the benefits of it and understand the intuition through our body and the way we're moving.
Through exercise, through mindful movement.
Through exercise. So there's movement, right? There's so many endorphins are released when we're moving. then they're all intertwined and it goes into a little bit deeper. And then it's the communities, because we are not stronger alone, we are stronger together.
No man is an island.
No man is an island. And it's basically a way of life, a way we want to, it's a place for people to come and tune into self-development where they don't know where to start from.
Okay. And how are you teaching this practice? So can you teach the ocean mindset just by telling me about it? What do I go do tomorrow to live more in an ocean mindset format?
I think it's mostly working on your self-development, touching on points where you're not really sure what you need to do. You want to live a better life, you're busy, you have a lot going on in your life. What do I do? You come to one of our workshops and we start opening the doors to help you understand what you need to do and how you need to do it, and giving you the tools, tangible tools that you can leave with that can help you through your day. Because we have our days, it's super intense, and we want to find the balance within it. And that is what's important, because I just keep hearing more and more crazy stories of people who are burnt out, who are overworked, of what's happening to them. And the ocean mindset is this place of rest, almost.
I mean, for me, having experienced it firsthand, first of all, the workshops are incredible. I think even personally, maybe coming into it with a bit of resistance and not sure what I'm going to experience, if I should be here or not, or is this my community? It's a very welcoming space, and a space where you really do learn these tools. And people keep asking me personally, what is the user manual for the human body? And I think whilst the ocean mindset might not answer all questions, it really is a basic way to understand how to regulate our nervous system, our body, and to feel better. I mean, that's one of the ultimate needs of a human being, to feel content, happy, and connected with the world around them.
Yeah, we very much forget to give ourselves attention. We always are putting everyone else first. The ocean mindset puts you first to be able to be stronger for the person in front of you, for your team, for your family, for your friends. It's a way of life, and it's our breath is the remote control of our nervous system, and it's attached to us. It's always available for us to use. It's always available for us to control, to find. For me, it's a study. It's a study of the breath, the mind, the movement, and the community.
Yeah. And if people want to learn more about the ocean mindset, want to access one of your workshops, like how can people hear about it, learn about it?
Yeah, they can go on my website. They can book any workshop that they want. There are different workshops now as well with the ice trays that I've started to introduce, because it's putting your hands, your extremities in a tray full of ice, and you're breathing through the intensity in real time. It's really powerful. It's much harder than you can imagine. And then we also have the breathwork and cold water immersion, where you're getting into an ice bath, not because of what it says online of how trendy and how cool it is, but to really understand what your mind is thinking when you are put in a high stress situation. Where does your mind take you when it's, I don't like it, I don't want to do it, get me out? When you're standing on a stage, or when you're about to have an interview, or to sit for an exam, I don't like it, I don't know what I'm going to do, you blank out, boom. That's what happened to me in the Olympics.
Yeah. Wow. That's deep that you mentioned that, and you feel that's something that happened. So when you were racing in the Olympics, you feel you...
100%. I didn't even... how unaware I was that I didn't even understand that that's why I didn't perform. And I was we blame a lot of people blame their bad performance from their lack of physical training, when it actually is they trained physically perfectly, but they didn't train mentally.
Wow. Look, people will want to hear more about this. We'll make sure that we link the website in the show notes, so people can have a look for that if they want to try any of this. But like you're saying, with the ice baths, it's doing something that we don't want to do. That's tough to see how the mind reacts and starting to control it. And I think that's the basis, the fundamentals of what this is all about. Neil, I have to ask you about the future. Everyone wants to know about the future. Will you swim again? Do you have any plans at this point in time? We're now filming this a few months after the Gold 07, which was a super tough one. What's going through your mind with your future?
Listen, like I mentioned multiple times in this last hour and a half, it's my favorite thing to do. If all roads lead to the sea, then I will probably swim again. We're going through a new phase now where in January I'm going to become a father, and I want to have the space to have the balance to give that my full focus. Like we said, it's either the swimming when it's something so big or it's something else. And now there's something bigger, which is our daughter who is going to be born on the 20th of January.
Oh, amazing, Neil.
But I would still love to swim.
There's always the but.
But we'll see what happens. If it's possible and it makes sense and it's feasible both in a physical and mental aspect, then why not?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll swim 100 miles finally.
I know you can do it. Neil, I've been on interviews before myself speaking about you where I've said you're superhuman, and genuinely it's one of the few things in my relationship with you that I regret. And the reason for that regret is I feel that puts you on a pedestal, and I really want to use this opportunity to say you are not superhuman. You are a human being who has been intuitive, who has learned about yourself, put the reps in, and that is the end result that we're seeing here. And personally, I thank you for coming into my life because it's been an incredible journey for me and I've learned so much. And I thank you for inspiring these tens, nowadays hundreds of thousands of people that follow your swims. And sometimes you even give them a reason to wake up in the morning. And I know for a long period of time, people were saying, if Neil can swim for bloody 3 days, I can get up and fucking do my homework or whatever it is. So thank you, Neil Agius, for being superhuman. And really thank you for coming here today and having this conversation with us.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me come and share my story. It's always amazing to have conversations with you, both on the physical, both on the mental, and both on the business aspect, and how we can help each other up level our own space and our own circle. So it's been amazing. Thank you. And I hope everyone enjoyed watching.
Thank you so much. And guys, if you did enjoy that, if you feel it's a conversation that can help you or people close to you, please share it. Please follow us on our social media on We Are Rise Physio, and kindly subscribe to our YouTube to help this podcast continue to grow. Thank you very much for your attention.